Ahoy, hoy! Tricky Luggers! How's it going, everybody? Hope you are having an awesome Monday. We're having an awesome Monday.
We are. Good start to the week.
Indeed.
Right, we got up early, raring to go.
Yes.
We got plans for the day.
Oh my goodness.
It's
a big day today. We have a lot going on today.
We do.
A lot going on.
Why don't we start by saying hi to people?
Let's do that. Let's see who's here on a Monday morning at 10 a.m.
I know.
Oh my goodness, let's see.
Oh, a bunch of people.
Yeah, so we have Alan R. Silverman, a new name. Hi, welcome to the stream, everybody. Welcome, Alan, to the stream. Albert Lee is here. Brickanista, Cornado. See you later. David Robinson. Hey, Dave. Debo Bricks, Fallen Tree 23.
Gwyneth is here.
Gwyneth is here, everyone from Hawaii. I don't know, maybe you're back from Hawaii. Hooded One, Joel Marbella, John Luttrell, Joshua Steele, Joshua Zender, Marilyn Parmley, and the Parmleys, I expect. Hi, Parmleys.
Hi, Parmleys.
Matthew Builds Bricks, Minifig Chick, Moto, Orange Bricks, Ossorg, Peter Hornberger, and the Hornbergers. Remy Baker, Rob Zaccardi, and the Zaccardis. We have so many clans now. Shane Levan, Smoke Up Johnny, Stewbot, The Brick Orphanage, Zach Martinez, and of course, Kim Zarachino. And Stewbot just showed up too, I think.
We always get those parentheses in there, right?
Well, it's sort of, it's a thing now. But I wouldn't know how to, the thing is, I feel like if we went down that list and for some reason she wasn't there that day, I would say it anyway, Kim? Just because that's how it's supposed to end. That's how it's supposed to end. Hey, Holly is here. Monica Berry.
Hi, Holly.
How's it going? Gwyneth is still in Hawaii. Very good. Mr. Ellie Daniel. Remy Baker. Awesome. So many people. Christopher Chalice. Hey, how's it going?
We got to hang out with Holly Moto and Minifig Chick yesterday on our Sunday chat.
Yes, even though it ended prematurely, which was a bummer.
Sometimes we'll just be raring to go, rolling along, and either YouTube or YouTube decides that's enough. So they pulled the stage hook and we were done.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just had enough of our antics.
Someday I really want to use a stage hook, like on a performance. Pull them right off.
All right then.
That's a subset of the fact that I want to do a vaudeville show sometime. I think that would be fun.
Sure. Okay, so let's talk about our pins today.
Okay. Wow, you got a big one.
I know. It's tangentially Disney.
Okay, it's Disney-esque.
Yeah, well, you'll see. Go ahead.
Mine is, I've got Rex from Toy Story. Oh, and he was in focus. There he is. Hi, that's Rex.
And I have a pin that was sent to us by Amy DD. From Lego Masters, not Brickmaster Amy, but Amy of Crystal and Amy. Sent these us a long time ago, and I don't think I've worn this one yet. But anyway, it is... She had this made. It is from the movie Hook, if you remember that movie.
Is it going to do it? There it is.
And it's Captain Hook fighting the leader of the Lost Boys, the guy with the red mohawk.
It looks like he's in Mad Max.
It's cool, yeah. And she this one was the other one that she sent a while ago.
Bangarang.
Yeah. Rufio, that's right, thank you.
Sorry, that's not going to focus.
Anyway, that's what I'm wearing today. And my Pee Wee Herman shirt.
What is going on?
Johnny Cat gave me ages ago for my birthday. It's that scene from the movie where he puts the flashlight glasses on, and it's all the all the stuffed animals
everywhere.
It's very ridiculous. All right, I'm gonna put this on. It actually requires 2 pins on the back.
Oh, really? Just to keep it level and keep your shirt from.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, and if you haven't seen it, there's actually pictures of Amy DD in Rufio cosplay.
Oh, yeah, she does amazing cosplay.
She pretty hilarious.
Prints her own cosplay elements.
Yeah, it's pretty neato. All right.
For anyone who wasn't here with us yesterday, we talked about conventions and what the in-person convention experience is like.
Oh my God, it scared the Jesus out of me. Oh my goodness, Tim Hutchings, thank you for the subscription. Oh my God, it scared the crap out of me. I didn't.
Well, we've got the speaker on kind of loud here.
No, the volume was on that high.
It's a big announcement.
Sorry.
You all right there?
Yes,
that was just like being in a Pee-wee movie.
That was just funny and ridiculous. Sorry. Oh my goodness. All right.
Well, we still have, actually, even before today, we're going to do a how-to on motors. I think the lead-in probably even said that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we have news first.
Yes. So there's a couple of pieces of Lego news this morning, and of course we're going to go to the Brothers Brick for our news. And this is going to go away. I don't know why this is here, but there we go. Hi.
Bye-bye. Hi. Welcome back.
Welcome back. So here is, this was the,
thanks
from the Brothers Brick. Yes, the Lego Winter Village Collection is out. The new one for Christmas is out, and it is the Elf Clubhouse. And you can check out the review on Brothers Brick. I love the sand green. Here you can kind of see.
Yeah, I love this sort of semi-Tudor treatment to that peaked roof.
Now, you'll notice that it's in the, like, adult packaging, right? They've moved away from the creator boxes, the creator Winter Village, and they've moved to this more, the you know, what we're calling the adult packaging.
Right, and now, we're aimed at grown-ups here with the spotlight and the dark packaging.
Yeah, and you'll notice, there it is. Oh. We were wondering when that Harry Potter Patronus stag was going to make a comeback as a piece.
Well, how cool is that?
And there you go. It looks really cool. We knew that was coming. Just like down the road somewhere, it was going to have to.
Well, and then eventually they'll have to issue one with a red nose, too.
Yeah, so you'll definitely have to check out... do I have a... Somebody said I have a hair sticking out. Probably. I have really bad calyx. I'm usually pretty good at keeping them under control. Thanks for pointing it out, though. Anywho,
that's pretty cool.
This is pretty cool.
So different.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be really cool. And then the other thing that is a thing that nope, not there. That everybody's freaking out about.
Yes,
it is the child buildable figure.
I have to call him Baby Yoda.
I know.
I have to call them Baby Yoda.
I know. Yeah, we talked about the Batwing yesterday. But the child, this is, and apparently it has movable parts.
Well, it looks like that head turns, right?
And the ears, arms. I think at least one of the ears moves and one of the arms move.
All right, I give it a month before someone has put roboticization into that.
Yeah.
That's a hard one to say. To make it move. Someone's going to make it move, you know it.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So, let's see. So those are the two, that's the Lego news.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, it is both ears, head, and arms, and there's a video. Okay. Awesome. Well, there you go.
I saw this great meme. I'm sure I've mentioned it before, but it was old school episode 3, 4, what is it? 4, 5, and 6, the original movies. Characters, and they're looking sort of downtrodden, and the child is here, and he said, I am Star Wars now.
You're done.
He changed everything. He got me interested again. I mean, that Mandalorian with the Sphinx-like face that never moves.
Yeah.
Somehow, with a puppet, really drew me back in.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to push this back.
Oh, yeah. We're going to need room.
Because we're going to need a little bit of room. All right. So, if you were following our Instagram or if you were listening to the show yesterday, you'll know that we are expecting a package from Lego. A thank you package from Lego for Lego Masters, for participating in Lego Masters, and they sent one to everyone. Now, if you've seen Travis or if you saw Manny and Nestor's box opening already, then you know what's coming.
But this was news to us. Flynn tracked it all the way across the ocean.
And it showed up yesterday, which is crazy. So you have to, so Richard's going to deliver, it's too much mail from his thing. It's too much for just one hand, I'm afraid.
Get my legs into it.
So
yeah, there's another box.
And there's another box this size down here. All right, so
basically, I mean, not that we're counting, but it was 70 pounds of
70
Lego.
pounds of Lego.
Oh my goodness.
So now they did send everybody the same box, so we're not going to open all of these because it's basically
Flynn and I got the
two sets of the same thing, but we're going to be we are going to open one set of them. All right, so the first one is the Friends, the TV series, ideas set, the Central Perk set. It's actually a really fun, it's a really fun set. It's got lots of good figs. It's got lots of good decorations. It's fun, right? There you go.
Oh, Aquamike TV, today's not a building today. We're going to do a how-to on motors, but we are going to get to that. We're going to build, well, Flynn can even tell you. We're planning on building something from this shipment coming up right away. Just not today.
Oh, I see something from, have you guys gotten my letter yet? I don't know if we've gotten your letter. We read everything that we have currently on air.
Oh, who's that from?
I'm not sure. They go to a P.O. box, which we're going to tomorrow, because I know that there's something there waiting for us. But, anyway, moving on.
Yeah, if we see something come in, we're going to read it on the air.
There you go. And it's not for sale, as you can see.
Oh, it says right there.
Selling it. So there you go.
Here, we'll put this back in here.
Oh, it's TrickyBricks' birthday! Happy birthday!
Happy
awesome!
Birthday. That's awesome.
Yeah, very cool.
I hope you have a great entire day. An entire year. But start today.
Okay, so here we go.
Here, I'll take this off to the side.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're...
So we have room to walk.
I know. Poor Logan had to give up one of his many beds in order for us to have this.
We seriously have no place to put it.
Okay. Scotty, let's start with the. Should we start with the?
Let's start with the small ones. Oh yeah, the card is nice.
So we got a nice card, which is awesome. Oh, Batman Day. I was confused. I just looked up and I just saw something that said "Happy Birthday, TrickyBricks."
Well, Happy Batman Day too.
All of it. All of it. Sorry. No, when I was reading back here, and I swear I saw something that said,
"Oh, not my birthday. It's Batman Day."
Yeah, no, but I swear I saw something back here that said it was somebody's birthday. Oh my goodness.
Well, see, there's nothing wrong with an extra birthday wish now and then.
Yeah. Oh, it's Noob Master 69 remastered. Liam O Constructions. Now I get it, of course. Of course, Noob Master 69. We haven't gotten your letter yet, but I will check for it.
Yep.
Thank you. That's good to know. That's really good to know. Yeah, I thought Batman Day was a couple days ago, but you know what? It's always, when isn't it Batman Day, really?
I don't know.
A very merry un-Batman Day to you.
What, you and he both were black.
Oh my goodness. Moving on.
To the note. A very nice note from
very
Lego.
Nice little card from Lego. It says, "Dear Lego Master, please accept this gift as a belated thank you from the Lego group for taking part in the show. We hope you loved your Lego Masters experience and will continue to love Lego play for many, many years to come. Hopefully these sets will keep you entertained until the next series of Lego Masters appears on your TV. Best regards, the Lego Group." Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lego.
Thank you so much. All right.
Here, let's start small and we'll work our way up.
Okay. So first two things are, we have the brick heads.
You can angle them.
Yeah, there we go. We have the brick heads here. We have Goofy,
Donald.
Pluto, and Donald.
Wow, Pluto's pretty cute with his little whip tail.
Yeah, very good. Oh, Aquamike TV, we don't really have photos that we sign and send to people, actually. That would be terrifying. I'm not quite sure why anybody would want a picture of... Maybe if they were on a diet and they put it on the refrigerator to keep them from going in there.
We have stickers.
We do have. Why don't you move over into the camera a little bit?
Oh, sorry. Hi.
So since we
back here.
So I was just gonna say, and this is not setting a precedent. I'm just saying with these, we own 2 of these. So we are going to give away these on a future show.
Yep. We'll spin the wheel.
We'll spin the wheel.
Maybe twice.
Who knows? Okay. So next up we have a lovely Tokyo architecture set.
That's so cool. It's like the Saturn V rocket meets the Eiffel Tower. I don't know that building.
Yeah.
That's great.
Chief Brick Geek, L. Lovelace, ahoy from Montana. Ahoy, hoy, Montana. How's it going? There we go. So, Tokyo.
Here, let's go with this one. Check this out.
Oh, Okay,
I'm liking cars more and more lately. I want to know how they work.
The Fiat Nuovo 500. I love the color.
And look at the features in the back. It is chock full of features.
It's very Italian. Yeah, look, it's got like a whole luggage rack on the back, and yeah.
Right, and look, the trunk opens up and there's a spare tire in there.
Yeah. Right?
Controls. Pretty fun.
So cool.
It's likely we'll build that on the stream.
Whoa.
This one's pretty cool, Flynn.
We got the Lego Creator Bookshop, which I am super excited about.
He's been super wanting the Bookshop.
Yeah.
Well, now we're gonna have to put all our modulars together, right?
Yeah, I think it's really cool.
Maybe we can rebuild the theater that we've stolen so many pieces from for other mocks. Okay, what's going on next?
Oh my goodness. Whoa. Okay,
this
so
is great.
We got a Technic Land Rover, which is is crazy.
Front steering, full Technic construction. The pistons in the engine go up and down. The roof rack comes off.
I know.
Here, show them the back.
I know you're really excited about this one, Richard. You've been wanting a car that drives, right?
Well, I want to learn how that steering mechanism works so I can roboticize cars.
Yeah.
And it's got, I think, four-wheel independent suspension is what's going on there.
And last but
certainly
not
not least.
Oh man, you guys, this is crazy.
Okay, you ready?
So excited about this.
Check this out.
Yes, it's the NES. So excited about this. It's the NES set. Super excited.
In that black box. This is aimed towards a grown-up audience. I am super looking forward to building this.
Yeah, so there
Holly
we go.
Knows, right? Holly has this.
Yeah, yes, I've got a few people I believe have that. So
here, let's pack them back in here, and I can push them off.
Yeah, they all fit perfectly in the box.
Well, Lego is pretty good at Tetris.
They did really good with that. Here we go.
And then I'll bend my legs so I don't pop something.
So I figure we'll put some of these together. It's actually been quite a while. Since we built a set. I think the Sparkle and Shine Salon was the last thing that we did.
We're sort of considering that NES set as like a savings account.
Oh, and we were saying when it drives, I know it doesn't literally like drive with a control, but it has a drive with wheels that turn back and forth, which is something that Richard's been wanting to do for a while.
And that's how I'm going to learn how to make cars that do drive.
So there you go. There you go. Oh, I know, Aquamike TV, we haven't done Sig Figs yet. You know, I have to say, doing this show 4 days a week, and then, Richard has a full-time job and some other things, like, we don't have a lot of extra time.
Yeah, so I work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and you've probably seen, Moto even has it on his bingo card from the early days of the show that sometimes I have to get up and leave. But today, I actually asked for the time off so I wouldn't be interrupted while we're doing our motor how-to. But, so yeah, we have a lot going on. I still am in shock over that, right? Like, it means nuts. So much, like not, dollar value aside, it is just so thoughtful of Lego to say, hey, you had a fun time, doing that, and you really, represented Lego well, and we want to thank you. Yeah, so that's awesome. It's really cool. Yep. Yeah. So, yay! Let's see. We will not be out of things to do this winter. No! Oh my goodness. We're going to have to, basically, we'll sleep, we're going to put a mattress on those boxes. We're going to have to. But, so I thought it would be fun to do, and it's not to say that we won't do Sig Figs. Like, I just know that the ones that they did of us on Lego Masters were expensive to put together. We like ours. We like ours. We love the ones they did for us are really cool, but they're expensive. Yeah, and we'll There's ours. But yeah, I have to check in now to see, because originally these were available on the Make a Minifig wall, and then as soon as, like, they hadn't been out very long before we weren't allowed to use the Make a Minifig wall anymore.
Anywho, but yeah, we will eventually have that stuff. We're a little slower getting to some of that stuff than some of our other Lego Masters compatriots, but we are, we've been doing bricks and
yeah, our faces are on the bricks,
sending things out, and so yeah, we've definitely been
all the things
been busy. We've definitely been busy.
Well, here, take this over on your side if you would.
Okay. That sounds great.
Wow, Flynn's side of the desk is like Mom's purse. Would you put this over there?
Always.
Right? Always. Would you put this there?
Okay, so shall we?
What shall we do? Are we going to do a how-to today? Okay.
I think we're doing a how-to today. That's the real reason people are here.
Okay. Well, there's going to be lots of hands-on today. I'm hopefully organized. I've been talking about doing this motors how-to for a while, and I thought, well, we have a few motors that we've used. When I got into it, I see that we actually have a lot of motors, and that Lego actually has them organized in a much cooler way than I thought. So should we just dig right in?
Yeah, so hopefully everybody's ready for motors. Hey, Brick by Brick Mox, welcome. Yeah, sig figs can be expensive, Mairead. It's true. Sorry, but we are gonna dive in. And don't forget, if you are new here today watching this motors, we are actually having a subscription drive, which I haven't talked about in a really long time, but we are doing one. And as soon as we hit 2,000 subscribers, we are going to be giving away this Monkey King Warrior Mech, which is an awesome set. Really fun to put together. Lots of great parts.
We built it ourselves. It has all these great gold parts.
Yep. So we're just 180 people away, 180 subscribers away before we'll be able to give that away. So
if you like it, click subscribe.
Subscribe, and like it, and the bell, and all the stuff.
I'm getting marble mouth in preparation for talking about stuff. Okay, so I'll just leap right in with, like, why motors? Why do you want motors in the first place, right? Why add complexity to your system? Yeah. And the answer is, and this is related to the gears how-to that we already did, that motors can do stuff. They can provide power to make things happen. And what we'll talk about today is not gear mechanisms. I'm not going to show you how to build a car or a clock or, something that spins around. More, it's going to be about motors, how to plug them in and get them power, and then a little bit about what kinds of control are available. But we're going to stay on the very most basic side of control. And we'll talk about 3 major classes of motors from Lego and a few others that are power functions. It's been around a long time. EV3, which you see a lot of education. First Lego League uses EV3, it's robotics. And then sort of combining the two of those is Powered Up, which we have now. And it goes by some other names too. But I found some really old motors that we have that don't require electricity at all. How about, should we do side by side? Look at that. You're just right on the thing. So the first one we have in manual motors is the 47715 CO1 pullback motor. And that's this guy right here. I'm going to give you the number on all of them in case you want to look them up, but we'll breeze past that pretty fast. So this is the motor, just this little blue part here. It's 9x4 by 2 studs and was made from 2003 to 2010.
And it's a pullback motor, right?
And it's a pullback motor. You pull it back, and then it goes.
It's just like the toys you used to get when you were a kid.
Right? So that's the easiest thing that you can do to add motorization. This one here, this gray motor, it's got a super long number, but it's the wind-up motor, and it's 2x6. And you can wind it up here, and then it slowly releases its power, which is really cool. I want to do functions on a Mach that just, I wind it up in advance and give it a little ratchet, and then I push the button to release the ratchet, and it moves. And then you can do the same thing in like a car with this same one. Now I'm using just this gear to ratchet it because I didn't gear it out of the way. And then it's gonna, it has a lot of power. What I found sometimes is that it takes it a moment before it hits its speed. But see, the same thing that does that. You just wind it up, no batteries, no nothing.
See, of course, the thing with this is it's just like you wind it up and it goes. That's it. That's your That's your control of
you
it.
You can insert things like levers, you know, little ratchets to stop it and start it, but it's the most basic kind of motor.
Yeah.
And then we go to battery-powered motors, and the ones that I've seen the longest are the powered-up motors. Oh, actually, you know what? No, let's go for the train motors.
Oh, I thought we were doing... Okay.
We are going to do... Oh, did I say powered up?
Yes.
I meant power functions.
Yeah, that's... Okay, that's one thing to think of, y'all, while we're doing this, is that there is power functions and powered up, and we will try to be as good as we can about making sure we stick to that. But it can get confusing. Power functions is the older version that has this gargantuan battery pack on it.
Yep.
Or to it, and then powered up is the very newest, or the most recent one.
Okay. So the first motor that we started using, our nephews were super cool, and they gave us their 9-volt train.
Yeah.
They weren't using it anymore, and we were starting to make models. So they gave us this 9-volt train track. They gave us a lot of that with metal rails. And it uses this number 590 train motor.
9-volt.
9-volt train motor. Here we go. It's just going to take a minute to set up.
No, but doesn't this need to go underneath?
Yeah. Why is that one not?
You have to sit it down flat, I think. There we go.
There we are. So you hook up the two leads left and right, but not on a joint. There we go. And then this part plugs into 9-volt power with a like a standard wall wart. And this is the 9548 train controller. It's got a yellow plug here that has little metal leads on it. And then it's got this old school power functions 9-volt thing. And you see how that has a circle in the bottom of it? That's how you know it's old school. You just plug that in. Just like that. And you can run your train around and around and around.
And it lets you also control the speed of it.
Yep, so you can go, it's not a continuous dimmer, right? It's got 7 speeds. So sometimes it's too fast, sometimes too slow. Oops. There we go.
But, yeah, so but it's got 7 different speeds that you can set it at.
And we've used these trains for lots and lots of different things.
Right.
Something you might not know is that, okay, so these are power functions motors.
Okay, let's take this out.
Well, do we want to... Yeah, we can take this away and we'll just leave this.
Yes.
These are 2 of the oldest power functions motors. This is the 43362 heavy 9-volt motor. You can still find these on Bricklink. Right? Very small like that, and it's got these leads right on top. And remember, I told you this connector there, oops,
the one with just the single hole on the bottom of it,
is the old school one. So you can power this from this 9-volt train control motor, which is awesome because then you can control the speed. And do we have a...
Because what happens is if you plug this into a battery pack, you only get 1 speed.
Yeah, I'll show you that in a minute. But the nice thing here is, here's one direction, slow to fast. The other direction, slow to fast. Couldn't be easier. Some of these old 9-volt cables are really fragile and the insulation is coming off, so beware of that. So this is the lightweight one, and you just look at the number on the bottom. If you have a 43362, it can hold less weight than this guy here. 9-volt. Well, I'll just mark it on here. These are both 43362. I just need to find this. Hang on a second. 41427. This is stronger. And something I learned last night.
Although they look exactly the same, so make sure you check the numbers.
Yeah, just look for the number on the bottom there that you can't. There's a number there. See, it's right there. So these have slots in the sides of them, and I never knew what that was there for. But those slots fit with these little window like these little ledge things.
The little sliding door.
Yeah, that works for the roll-up door. And so I put tiles under here because I always like my motors to be modular. Take them in and out so you can service them. And then that just slides in there like that.
And that's what holds it in place. That's so cool.
And then a thing to understand about different kinds of motors is some are based on studs like this, and then some like the EV3 or Technic motors are based on Technic like this. But almost always, if you're going to engage with gears, you're going to be dealing with Technic anyway. Right. So you got to get kind of easy with dealing with back and forth Technic.
Well, and I also wanted to mention that you know, these kind of older motors, like I know there's always a push to like get the next newest best thing. Yeah. But the thing is, if you're a person who buys bulk buys and you end up with some of these motors in your collection, well, then you have the tools that you need to start working with motors. You may have to buy a couple of extra pieces, and you may have to figure out gearing because they're a little bit more simple. But they're still completely usable, effective tools to have.
That's absolutely right. And so there's an interesting thing that helps you use the older motors. So this style connector here is the older one that works with the train motor. It works with these older power functions. I'm going to never, ever, ever pull on the wire because you'll pull it out, right? And so this is that little square thing. But the newer power functions look like this. They've got two studs and this little slot.
And what I tell my kids when I teach is that it's got a little robot face on it. That's how you know. See, there's got two eyes and a mouth.
So then,
and when you connect them, you always put the robot face on top of the other robot face.
Yes, right? That's right. So this new style power functions connector has the robot face, so stacks right on, and if you had 4 more of them, you could stack them right on that too and control all those motors from this same number 8881 battery box.
But of course now, the more motors you add, eventually they're going to start powering down because they're sharing, they're all sharing the same amount of batteries.
It's like drilling more holes in a bucket, right?
Yeah, I found, like when I was teaching my classes, I found that you could stack 4 reliably, and they would all go at a good speed.
Got it.
So yeah, the battery box, and there are 2 kinds of battery boxes that we have here.
Well, so check this out. This is the new style robot face one. This adapter cable, this Lego extension cable here, has new style on the top, but it has old style on the bottom. So I can plug, I have a sense of wonder about that. So, so I can plug in this sideways here so it doesn't hit old style. Oops. Oh, maybe I have to do it this way. There, it fits on the old style one, just like that. And
you can run it.
Hard to see, but I'm running forward and backwards. And if I had a second one, I could stack that on there as well. So this is the 9 volt. It takes 6 AA batteries in it. So get some.
So many batteries. Yeah, and it's heavy.
Rechargeables. Get rechargeable batteries if you're going to use power functions because you go through a lot of them. And make sure your switch is off when you store it. That little light. It'll drain it. So this littler one is the AAA battery box. It's the number 88000 AAA power functions one, and it's got that same top on it. This newer one, there's older school, but there's a difference. This one allows you to go forward and reverse with one switch. So when it's on, it's one direction or the other. This one allows you to set forward and reverse here, and then the switch is here.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to use this adapter.
How many can you stack, orange bricks? I don't know. You could stack as many motors until you ran out of energy, I suppose.
I would stay with 4 or fewer.
4 is, like I said, when I was teaching my classes, I found that if the kids put more than 4 motors on it, it definitely started to drain the batteries faster.
Let me see. I'm not going to, because I haven't geared this, it's going to be a little hard to tell, but there you can see a little bit, it's turning, and I can turn the other direction.
Yeah.
And it's turning. So there's super old school motors
and
totally work.
We found in our collection this super old school 9 volt battery box. Now this actually takes a 9 volt battery, which we didn't have. But
one of those square ones, right?
This is the battery box that came with the monorail set. The infamous or famous monorail set.
And look, how many can you stack there? You can stack...
It looks like 4.
You can stack 4 on this.
3.
1, 2.
Yeah, because it's 4.
2. Oh yeah, there's an extra set of studs there.
So there you go.
And then because these are Lego, all of these are, you can build on these and you can build them in. But I would advise you, make your power supplies modular so you can get to them and change the batteries.
That is super important.
If you bury it, you'll be sad.
Yes.
Okay, so that's power functions. Oh, actually, that's not all of power functions.
That's just that part of power functions.
Yeah,
that's the old version.
That's old school power functions.
No, it's new school power functions.
Now here's new school. These 3 are the same, so I'm gonna put them here. And where's my little lever I just had? So these motors, almost all the motors we're gonna show you have Technic holes here. So you can actually put pins in there and lock your gear mechanism into the front of the motor.
These are probably the motors that most people are familiar with.
This one right here.
Yeah.
Right, and this one, if we go to the power functions motors, this is the medium or M power functions motor number 8883. Right? Is that right? Yes. And then this is the large or Technic based. See, this one has Technic holes in the sides.
That has studs.
And this one has studs. This is the large one, or L motor, and that's 88003. And it's 7 studs long. The new ones we'll see in a minute are a little bit longer than that.
Right.
But, so you can see they have the same kind of plug on them, all the same. So you could actually take, where's the other 2 that I just handed you?
Here.
We're going to take 4 of these and stack them all together, and I don't have things on them to whip around, so you'll have to kind of take our word for it.
There's some gears, but you should be able to see this.
Right?
So there they go. All 4 are running off of the 1 battery pack.
And there's an advantage to this in that they all get exactly the same amount of power. So if you have those on different wheels, or if you're using 2 of them on different wheels, those wheels go exactly the same speed all the time.
Yeah, and I would say that before you start working with these, like if you do want to lock this battery in, because it does have the ability to lock it in, just make sure that you are taking that into consideration, because building Technic is different than building just regular studs, and some of the things to think about.
We're not going to go deep into any construction methods today, but I will tell you that these guys are super useful for motors, because you can have your whole mechanism all sitting here and have a Technic beam going right up through here, and then you can just push this in and it locks the motor in. Put one on each side, and then you pull this pin out and you can pull your motor out. Way easier than having to deconstruct a, a tight Technic construction.
Well, and also too, we were pointing out the pins that are here in the front. Make sure that when you if this is your motor and you're connecting it into your main, so like here's your main thing, you want to make sure that there's a place, at least one place, where you can connect 2 of these pins into a Technic beam. So that way your motor's not going to jump around, because of course it wants to jump around.
Well, that whole thing about every action has an equal and opposite reaction. The fact that the motor's pushing on a mechanism means the mechanism is pushing back, and it wants to push the motor out of place.
And I would say that these are fairly strong motors.
Yeah, I didn't get into kilonewtons and all that because I didn't want to get into a deep discussion of torque that I would need to learn more about anyway. But these are pretty powerful. You can drive big cars or trucks with them. And then so we've got the medium one here. That's the smallest one I know of. Well, there's some micro ones that are older, but the smallest current one is this. This has more torque, and then there's an XL one as well. And we've actually got, there's extra large, where there's actually a couple we don't. There are a couple motors we don't have. There's also a servo motor, and there's an infrared motor, and a power functions train motor. But
I'm sorry that we don't have every motor.
Sorry, we have lots of them, but there are so many. So another cool thing
Hey, Luke, welcome to the TrickyBricks build and chat. We're talking about motors today.
some of the advantages of power functions, and some of these ideas come from Pavel Sariel, who is great.
Oh yeah, we've talked about this book before when we did our gears, but this is, if you want to know about gears and like you really want to get into it, this like is a must-have.
Yep, it's great. He goes through the whole history of Lego motors as well. Pavel Sariel Kimiech, who's, I'm sorry, I'm getting his name wrong.
He also has apps available and a website.
Yeah, he's great. One of the advantages of this system is it's super easy to set up. If you're buying these pieces either new or on Bricklink, they're pretty inexpensive as compared with some of the more sophisticated motors. And there actually is other control. We don't have it, but there is an on-off switch. There is we may have infrared, but we haven't used it yet. There's an infrared transmitter and receiver as well, which is a great way to control these cars. But infrared has limitations. If you're outside in bright sunlight, then it may not work as well. And if you're controlling your train or your car with infrared, you have to make sure that the receiver for the infrared signal from the remote has direct line of sight. So I see lots of people with train cars going by, and they're like looking, not with it's going by, but you know, when they're standing still, and they shoot straight down with their remote to be able to see in there. And there's some more advantages to Powered Up that we'll get to in a few minutes. So I'm a big fan of power functions. It's the simplest of the three lines that we'll talk about, and you can get a lot of work done on it without a lot of effort.
Well, no. Though while it is simple, do be aware that unless you have the right kind of controllers, if you want to control the speed of these motors, you have to learn about gears. It's these are not easily controllable for speed a lot of times.
Yeah.
So just make sure that you that's something you think about. And also too, I will note that having built a lot with these motors, they do have the studs connection on the bottom, which is great, but they are not entirely system all the way around.
No.
So you're not going to get a tight fit of bricks around them.
No, you have to, if you really want to lock this in, you have to engage with Technic. And just to show you, like, you know, why you would end up having to gear down, this motor, without a load, goes at about 370 RPM. You know, a lot. It's going really fast, and that's going to make your car shoot across. So unless you're going to, you know, use this, which is a great way, if you get one that's reliable and, you know, has not frayed electrical on it. But so yeah, you got to think about control.
And actually, Minifig Chick, if you don't mind putting in the chat the link to the TrickyBricks website, TrickyBricks.com, there is an article about the gears stream, and in that stream there's links to a couple of books that you might find interesting that would help out with these things.
So I think we're done with that.
Okay,
right now.
well good, because you know what time it is.
Is it that time?
I think it's that certain time for that certain person.
All right.
Well, somebody's a little late for their entrance.
Well, it's because someone was preparing a motors tutorial rather than...
All right, Logan! Yay!
Hi.
Here he is!
Look what it is, Logan. Your favorite. It's a cookie.
Yay!
Ready? Yay! And today's Logan Cookie Time is brought to you by...
It looks like Petco.
By the Zacardis.
Those aren't Zaccardi treats, I'm afraid.
Oh, these are Petco. Oh, you're right. Okay, you want one last one?
Actually, it's Pet Food Express.
I give him
Petco.
halves, so he gets plenty.
Look, yay, Logan! What a good boy.
He even gets it off to the side.
Logan Cookie Time, ladies and gentlemen.
Logan has power functions.
He definitely does.
And Powered Up.
Definitely does. All right.
So some of the advantages to power functions are easy setup, flexible, and it's really, really easy to get. right? If you're trying to get it used.
Which about power functions?
Power functions, the ones that we just looked at.
Yeah.
Now, bring the train track back, please.
Okay. Train track.
Okay, so there's another way you can deal with train. Oh, no, we're doing EV3 next. I'm sorry. You can leave the train track there, that's fine. So we have used EV3 extensively.
Yes.
EV3 is Lego Robotics. It's Mindstorms, right? And it used to be NXT, and then I think there have been several iterations, but it's basically...
Will there be Q&A? Sure.
Yeah.
I guess, actually, I don't know if one of our moderators is not busy, or Holly, if you want to... If people want to start asking questions in the chat that the mods could jot down or copy-paste into something... And then maybe, I don't know, text me or email me, or actually maybe email would be best, and we can answer those questions afterwards.
Okay, we can do that. So EV3 is Lego Robotics, right? And it consists of this brain here, and it takes a bunch, again, 6 Aaa batteries in the back. We also have a plug-in adapter that's buried in our werewolf clock right now.
Now, I will say that the only way to get the one that has the adapter on it is to purchase the Lego Education version.
Which is totally worth it. I would absolutely recommend it.
Yeah, it's different, but man, having that rechargeable thing, especially if you're planning something, like if you're just going to have something that you just want to run around a little while in a class, like that's fine. But if you wanted something like Snake Queen that was going to be running all day, having that charger made all the difference.
Yeah, it's great for conventions. As long as you don't have like a self-contained autonomous robot, right? Then you need batteries for sure.
Right. And Holly asks if we figured out a way to convert from power functions to powered up. We haven't really delved into that yet.
Not power functions to powered up, although I hear there's people doing it. We have controlled power functions with EV3 before.
No, that's that's something we'll talk about
I'll go into that in a minute. So, again, this isn't, we're not going to build machines out of this. We're also not going to get into programming today. That's a whole other topic.
Yeah.
With power functions, I mentioned that you need the motor, a way to power it, and a way to control it. So with EV3, we've got motors, a way to power it because we've got batteries in this brain right here, and this is also the way that it is controlled. It sends a control signal and power down these cables here that look kind of like an RJ45 connector, but unfortunately they're not. They're pretty specialized.
And what do you mean by an RJ45?
Oh, RJ45 is
for people.
That's Ethernet,
like an cable.
Ethernet, or similar to old school phone connectors that no one sees anymore. Right, and so like with power functions, we've got multiple sizes of motors, and for EV3 there's the medium servo motor. That's this one here. It's got those recognizable pinholes in the front, about a 1 stud deep axle hole right there. And then this one is designed to interface all with Technic. Every one of these goes with Technic.
And we had a lot of trouble with that when we were doing Snake Queen, because we hadn't hit our stride with Technic at that point, I don't think.
Well, it's still something we always have to pay attention to. If you're building up studs up, studs up, studs up, and then suddenly you have a motor that's hooked in with Technic, how to make all those things resolve. And it's, getting the right plate counts and all of that, and then reinforcing it.
Wow.
Was that confusing?
No, I just noticing that one of our screens is frozen, so I'm going to go to maybe that to see if that helps.
Okay.
And it doesn't.
No, our camera's frozen.
Oh, well.
Well, while Flynn figures that out, we can talk about this. Oh, and look, we can see much more closely now. So this is the 45503 medium servo motor. I like how small it is. It's tiny style. We use this heavily in Snake Queen. This EV3 brain has 4 motor outputs, A, B, C, and D. Has a connection to your computer. And then it has sensor inputs. And we won't go into sensors today, but sensors are a way to get information into the computer. Like you can start an action with a touch, or with distance going in and out, or select a color. right? So the 4 motor outputs here, I've got these 2 hooked up that I'm going to say are my motors for rolling my robot forward and backward.
They were laughing at our
at
Rosie.
Because we had 2 and we called them Robbie and Rosie.
Yeah, it's Robbie and Rosie.
Yeah. This one here is the 45502 large servo motor, and it's really powerful. This is, I think, the most powerful motor of the ones that we'll look at today. So you turn on the brain like that. And I won't go into it right now, but I've turned on Bluetooth in this so that I can talk with my iPad.
And by the way, I know that a lot of people are probably going to be interested in going further with the EV3 stuff, and that's something that I believe that we're going to plan on doing as a what do you call it? Like a workshop. Where we would probably, there would be an admission fee or whatever, like not much, but just like and then we would teach a class like just on programming and how to make this work.
And I think we'll do that for EV3 and also for Powered Up.
Exactly, because it's way too much to go into on a live stream.
Yep, yeah, it's a deep hole to go in there. So let me see. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm going to start up so with Powered Up, you can hook this up to a PC, and then you can code, right? You can say start now, stop now, make this much power, sense this signal, and then you can load that into this brain, and you say go, and run this program, and then your robot runs around and senses things and picks things up.
Yeah.
Or you can use the EV3 Mindstorms app, and I have it on this iPad here, and it's designed to do a couple of different things. There are several pre-made robots that like this Cobra, this standing robot here, that do different things, and they have the motors and sensors plugged into particular ports. And then if you go to this, if you say I want to control this robot, it's going to give you some instructions for how to hook up. Can I get out of here now? So some instructions for how to hook up, and then it gives you a remote specifically for that robot. But what we want to do is we want to create and command our own robot. Now, I haven't figured out a way to create this remote and save it. So every time I come in here, if I want to do this without a PC, I'm going to create it. But it gives you all these places you can put control surfaces, and I'm going to say I want to put one right here. Right? And I'm going to say I want a joystick, and I want my left motor. Where is this here? My left motor is going to be on A. I don't know if you can see that, but A. Mm-hmm. My right motor is going to be on B.
And that correlates here to all the letters that are on the side of
A, B, C, D. And then I have one more motor. Let's say that I've got this motor that's going to make a propeller turn around on the robot's head. So then I'm going to go to... Did I do it right? There. That's my XY controller for the wheels going forward. And I'm going to say one more controller. This side-to-side controller is going to control my other motor, and that's going to be on C, right? And then I add that in. So if I did this all right, I put that there, it says good, and then I say I want to, let me see, enable Bluetooth, I did that. Bluetooth, select an accessory, and here we find out whether it's going to find Rosie, and it did.
It did.
Haha, yay! Sometimes that can be fussy. Okay, so now I'm going to go like this, and I can... There's my propeller on the top of the robot's head, and look at this. Not only I can go very, very slowly or very quickly, and all that is controlled not only by the app, but also by you can use your laptop and do it in a very sophisticated way. And then we don't have anything plugged into these, but here, look, both of my motors are going forwards, both of my motors are going backwards. Now I'm turning one way, and now I'm turning the other way. So I could drive a little robot around just with this and control not only this, but even another motor still. All with EV3.
Right. Well, and I have to say, like, that is the tip of the iceberg.
That's the most basic stuff, basically.
Yeah,
right?
and then there's this whole other level that we would talk about in an actual workshop where you can program it to do stuff. So like we did with Treasure of the Snake Queen, we could, you can program this motor to say, I want you to move a 45-degree turn to the left at 0, or, at speed 4.
And then wait 4 seconds and then turn, X amount to the right.
So then it ends up being autonomous, and you don't have to stand here at the control.
Yeah,
but that's really the more advanced.
So this is a really deep hole to go down, but it can do a lot. It's sophisticated.
Really can.
There's very sophisticated reporting coming 2 directions, both to the motor and also returning from the motor, so that the EV3 knows where its position is and all like that. And if you imagine, you could take this and it could be on the back of a turtle robot that could have its little legs powered, and then, its head move around as well. You can do a lot.
Yeah. Now, just as a couple of downsides, is that it's very expensive.
It's over $300.
It's over $300. But you do get a lot with that. A lot of Technic parts, a lot of gears, a lot of additional things, plus the brain, plus a few motors and a sensor. Definitely enough to get you started. It is large, and I will say that I find this, because all of this screen is all controlled via buttons, and it's very clunky. I think the navigation on this is clunky, but we're not really talking about that. We're talking about motors today. But
yeah, it's definitely it's a commitment. But if you have the commitment of someone who's in First Lego League who wants to learn how to make robots that can do things, this is going to be the most sophisticated thing you can do, and it's definitely attainable for kids and adults.
Yeah, right? And we should also mention there's an older version called NXT, which was the before EV3, which is still, again, totally usable.
Yeah, Boone used it in his Ewok Adventureland ride.
Yeah,
he used NXT.
And you can get them cheap. The only thing is they do have a shelf life, so make sure that if you buy used, that you buy from somebody reputable, and that they do say, yes, it is all working and functioning and all that good stuff.
Yeah, and the same is true about the old 9-volt train motors. They have a shelf life. You can reinvigorate them. We've learned out ways to do that. But if you get one and it's cheap on BrickLink, just know the seller enough to know that you're getting something that's in good working order.
Yeah, I will say that if you want to get really sophisticated with strong motors, and these are specifically made for robotics, but we use them. I mean, we use 2 of these to control the entirety of Snake Queen.
Well, and that's an interesting point too. I find it interesting is that robotics can be a Roomba, but it can also be the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
Right, exactly.
All of that is robotics. It's just telling motors when to do what.
And it's also in between. Right?
All that stuff in between, and it doesn't. Yeah, you can do baby steps.
Yeah, so these are the big motors, and this is a smaller one.
Yeah, this is the medium one. I haven't seen one smaller than this. This is medium, large, and I think there's extra large as well, but we don't.
Yeah, there's medium and large, but there is no small. I never see any small motor.
It's like Starbucks. There's tall motors, but
I need a venti motor.
So we've seen power functions, and it had medium, large, and extra large, and now we've seen EV3, and it has medium, large, and the ones I didn't show you are extra large. And then we'll find the same thing for Powered Up. Maybe I'm lying about that. Are there no extra large EV3 motors?
I don't know.
And then you can also, if your motor's not strong enough, you can tie 2 of them together and have them help each other out. Oh, hey.
So
we're not going yet.
I hate this tiny keyboard. Wow. So now that we've gone over that, we're gonna talk about the most recent iteration, and that's Powered Up. And that is, it gets very confusing, right? Because there's Boost, then
Powered Up, and Technic, all speaking the same language and all doing the same things, but I think they're targeted at different lines.
They are, and it gets a little confusing. Now we don't have access to all of the things. We only have access to what we have. So what we're showing you is what we have. There are also a lot of other options out there.
Now we're not going to talk about Boost. My understanding of Boost, and please correct me if any of you know more about this, is that it was the first one to roll out in the new Bluetooth-controlled hub-based line that they did was Boost, and they had some particular sets for it.
Yeah.
And then Powered Up came out around the time that we were on Lego Masters, and that was really coming online, and it was dedicated again to particular sets. You could get powered up motors like in a little Batman car or something like that, but then the controller, the remote control that I'll show you in a minute, expected that your motors were plugged in a certain way and that you were making the Batmobile.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was tied directly to a specific model. So whether it was the Batmobile or the Disneyland train, it was there. You couldn't really buy them things on their own until
then they opened it up. Then they made it into a sandbox, and they said, no, actually, you can do your own programming, you can do your own everything with it, just like you can with EV3, and that made it a lot more interesting to us.
And so what I'll say is they're very similar.
Yeah,
like the programming of them are very similar now. One of the upgrades they made is now you can program on an iPad, which you couldn't really do so well with EV3. Like
it was a lot harder. It was more simplified, right?
So this is it's funny. So Powered Up is kind of like EV3 Lite. Like as far as programming and the things goes, it's a much cleaner and smoother interface. But I find, excuse me, although we haven't tried, or at least I haven't tried the Technic versions of the motors.
Yeah, we don't have any of those sets.
We found that the Powered Up motors in general are not as strong. Now, what I love about the EV3 over Powered Up is those are some strong motors.
Yep.
Like we used one of those big ones, and one of those really big motors on, and that's what we turned that gigantic thing. Ugh, my hair again. Yeah, you know what it is? I washed my hair yesterday and I fell asleep on the couch. So there you go.
Fly away.
I can't believe y'all
fly away
are
hair.
Hilarious with the hair.
They never talk about mine. Although they have to wear sunglasses, it gets a bit bright up there. So let's dive into Powered Up, shall we? First of all, I want to say that while you can be very simple with EV3 and just do the brain and one motor, no sensors even.
Oh, and see, that's the thing, hooded one. That's what I was talking about. See, Spike, there's another one. Like, there's so many. So you only have, obviously, again, the ones that we have access to.
Yeah, hooded one, I don't have the answer to that. We haven't looked into Spike, but I know it's there, and it's a thing, and you can do cool stuff with it.
That's crazy.
So these are just the motor and sensor cables that we used on Snake Queen.
Just.
Eight motors and 7 sensors. There was a lot going on, a lot of cables to manage, and so I have everything labeled on both sides. If you're going to start doing this, label.
It's going to make things so much easier later.
Oh, it says Forest Motor, Crypt Motor. And a little tip, from EV3 or from Lego, you can get very short EV3 cables. You can get them up to,
I thought they were a foot?
No, up to 2 meters long. From a place called the Robot Shop, and they sell all kinds of robotics, but they also sell Lego EV3 extension cables. So
third-party extension
much
cables.
Longer, up to 6 feet, and longer than that, and they start having sync problems with recording getting out of sync.
Yep.
Okay, so now let's turn to Powered Up, the third of our 3 main sections. You want to go to a down camera again?
I sure do. Well, okay.
What's that?
No.
Okay, so
this is a dedicated Powered Up. I mean, Powered Up train motor.
Yep, right here. The motor doesn't come with these little train linkages. You put those on afterwards. But it's designed to accept, what's it called, a bogey plate, Flynn?
Yes.
To put regular train parts on the top of that.
And also, just wanted to let you know, to sort of finish the thought we were talking about earlier, is that you can now go to the Lego store and ask them, tell them, I need a train motor, or I need a medium motor, or whatever, and they have them to sell individually from behind the counter.
Yeah, some are more available than others.
Some are more expensive than others, but...
Yeah, you might want to call first to make sure they have it, but they're not out on the shelf. You got to ask for them. Exactly. And if you have your part number, like this number 88011 train motor, see, it comes with the holes for 2 different axles there, and then I put my own axles in with these train wheels that accept an axle. And both of these axles they go at the same time.
Right, so when that comes on, both spin.
Yeah, because it wouldn't, you want both sides of your train to go at the same time, right? And then this has yet another little special
different
Lego
kind
connector,
of plug.
Also not Ethernet. This one doesn't lock, which I think is good and bad. It's good because it won't tear if you pull on it. It'll just come right out. So this is a powered up hub.
Now you've seen these. We've used these a lot on the show before.
Right? Number 88099 powered up hub. This takes 6 AA AA?
Triples, I think. I don't think 6 would fit in there, does it?
Oh, 6 AAA batteries.
They're stacked in a weird triangle.
Yeah, and it's easy. There's 3 up here on top, but you got to pull the holder out. There's 3 here on the bottom as well. So 6.
Monica, exactly. The proprietary plugs are just like Apple.
Very much. Ugh. Okay, so on the hub, you've got an A and a B. There, you got shine there. See, A and B?
Okay, so now, sorry, real quick. There is another difference between EV3 and Powered Up. With one Powered Up hub, you can only do 2 things. You can either run 2 motors or a motor and a sensor. Where with the EV3, you actually can run up to 4 motors and separately 4 sensors. So this has a lot more variety as to the amount of things that you can put on it.
Well, there are powered up options, which not that include 4 sensors, but that can do 4 motors. And we'll see that one in a moment.
Right.
So this little powered up hub is Bluetooth. So rather than being Wi-Fi or having to be hardwired, it's going to communicate with the number 88010 remote control right there. This is the simplest way to operate Powered Up, right? You've got a hub. Here's your remote. I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to tell it to go into pairing mode because I've had it communicate with multiple different hubs and it might get confused. So I'm going to press this down until it turns purple.
I think this is our most shown thing that we've ever done on the show.
There?
How to turn on
You're right, exactly.
a powered up motor.
Did it do it? Look, it paired up. So you put it in pairing mode and then you press within like a second of one another and now they're both green. So this is going to go very fast. If I had a circle, then that would be great and it wouldn't shoot off the end of the tracks. But with this remote, the train motor only goes 1 speed, and that's pretty fast. And I'm plugged into A, so whereas my A on the remote is this side here, right? And the red stops it.
That's not too fast.
No, I thought it seemed faster last night. Right? So you can with just this remote, and then check this out. You're like, no, I want there to also be a giant rotating sign on my train, or, a shovel that comes and picks things up. So, oops, going into the second, the B right here, and then B on the remote.
Oh yeah, now you can turn.
I can control the second motor. And so imagine your train has multiple cars and you want something to be on one of them. Like you could put a light on this one. They did that with the Disney train.
Yep.
Right? Oops. I'm off the track here.
And we do want you to note, we're still using our 9-volt track with the metal wheels. It doesn't matter. It still works with the newer trains.
Yeah,
it's the same size.
We're not getting electricity through the tracks on this, but it's the same pitch.
Yeah.
And then with these train motors that fit on an axle, you need to make sure you set them at the right width.
Yeah.
Right? So that's just controlled with a remote, but I could use the Powered Up app. And there's a couple apps, so don't get confused. There's this Lego Boost app right there. And that Boost app is dedicated, it's aimed at a younger audience, and it's dedicated to particular models that are specific to Boost.
So you don't want that one.
Don't want that one. And they are both listed under Powered Up in the App Store. So we want the Powered Up app. No hub found. So...
Well, because you have it paired to the controller.
Yeah, so it's paired to the controller. So I'm going to turn off the controller. And I'll just hold this in. It's going to start blinking. And then it's going to turn off the hub here in a second. There, it turned off the hub. Now, I'm going to put the hub in pairing mode again by just holding this down until it goes purple. Let's see if I can do this. Is it going to work? I'm not going in purple. Retry. Oh, there we go. Now it's trying to pair with the app. It's hard to see, but...
Now, you're using the controller from the Disney train right now.
At the moment, I'm using the controller from the Disney train. So I'm going to go back. Here, I just turned on the app, and it says, look, Disney train, there's the piano,
the crocodile,
another train, here's the haunted house. So these are all controllers that are specific to that model and will have their motors plugged into hubs in a particular way. So to show you some simple action here, I'm going to choose the Disney train. It uses this same motor. Let me move this forward a little bit. It uses the same motor. It can make sounds. The app has sounds built in. And then the coding in this app says that when I start this train, it plays a going sound. It plays
like a starting sound.
And then when it stops, it does brakes. But it's doing those very quickly because we're starting and stopping on short track, right? So that remote right there works totally well, and it's just the Disney train. But you can also...
Yeah, I love the sounds. The sounds are super fun.
Let's see, this is play. You can also do create.
So right? Kind of like you just did with the other one, where you created your own...
Yeah, so like you can with EV3. This is more like the EV3 sophisticated programming.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to get into how to program this, but I made a remote last night. So this other remote here, which is in the Create section, has one slider hooked up to B and one hooked up to A. So you can see with no trouble at all, I didn't need to know any coding at all, and LEGO already has remotes that can totally control this.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's that. You've got... Let me go through my list here to make sure I didn't miss anything. Do you have my script?
I don't.
I thought... Oh, here it is. I actually made a script. So to go through the inventory of powered up motors and hubs...
It would take about 3 hours.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. This is the stud-based hub that takes the 6 batteries, and it's got 2 outputs. We have this other hub here...
Now, is it I guess it's not possible just to show the hub because it's got stuff on it.
What's that? It is possible just to show the hub because we accidentally bought 2 of them.
Oh, that's right. We have to return one,
where's
but
my other one, Flynn?
it's right here. It's right there.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, it was confusing when you go to the LEGO store to buy Powered Up. Have your numbers in advance.
Yeah.
Because the very helpful person I spoke with didn't know Powered Up, and neither of us knew the numbers.
And then gave us the wrong thing.
Yeah, so I ended up getting 2. This is a move hub here. So this one, like with the EV3, has 2 motors, a left steering motor, a right steering motor, and then it's got 2 other ports on here. So you could do... You know, like you could do your forward momentum with your car with these 2. You could do your steering left and right with this, and then still have something left for headlights or, you know, something that sends out a net out the back of your, you know, superhero mobile. So this is the Move Hub.
So basically what you're seeing right here is a combination of this and 2 of these, and they are separate. They're separate motors.
Yeah, and if I can, let's see if I can do this here. I'm gonna turn this guy off. So, on Lego Masters, remember we had a challenge where we were gonna use Powered Up. You know, like the first amusement park challenge. But what they didn't account for is that we had 10 tables of teams of 2, all with
using
Powered
Bluetooth.
Up, all at the same time. So they were all stepping on each other. It was complicated. So now I've turned off the train. We'll get that out of the way. Here, let's even take this off the table.
Okay, bye train.
Right, so 2 kinds of trains.
Are we done with the train?
We're done with the trains for today. So this same hub I was going to build into a Fab Max vehicle, and I got
distracted.
Yeah, with other things. So these 2 wheels are hooked up to the front of the hub here. I'm gonna put it in pairing mode. Let's see if I can I see anything here? There, it's in pairing mode. Let's see if I can do it. Oh, there. Almost. Oh, my battery. There we go. Look at that. They're both in green. So, there's only 2 buttons on here. A and B, but there's A, B, C, D here. So, A. Oop. Let me see here. So there's my C motor, and what that says to me is the last time I did this, I had already done this. You press the middle and it changes the channel. So now there's left, there's right, and you can see my hand was on it. There's one, there's the other one. If you don't like the polarity your motor is going, you can just turn these around like that. Or if you want to go left and right, you can do that. So,
now does this have a speed function on it?
That is the trick. This is just 1 speed. I'm going really fast, you know, in reverse or forward, and then and this is going fast as well. So if you want to control speed, use the app, either with a pre-made remote. Bye, Joel.
No, we're saying thanks to Joel for his super sticker.
Oh, thanks, Joel.
Thank you, which I thought I...
Awesome. There's a hippo racing in a chair.
All right.
Yeah, so if you want speed control and you want subtle and you want complex, use the app. If you want a little bit simpler, use the remotes that Lego's already made for you.
Yeah, if
you want the simplest, like I did, I just made my Rover, my Mars Rover, go forward and back. Here.
Yep. Hey, Eli, how's it going? Welcome.
So... Yes, so we had the train motor, simple, medium. There's also an extra large motor, so you get a more powerful one as well.
Well, and we should also say, there are now 2 different kinds of... right now there are 2 different kinds of powered up motors. There are powered up motors that have studs on them, and then there are powered up motors like this one, which are meant to use with Technic.
Yeah, and they actually call these. There's a Technic medium and large motor. This is a Technic large motor here, and it's very similar to the stud-based one that I have. Oops. Here, see, this is all oriented towards studs, but it gives you those pinholes to hook your gears in.
Right.
And this one is all based around Technic holes. And it all just depends on what your construction is. If you're making a car that's mostly Technic, use the Technic motors.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I found it so easy to integrate these stud-based motors into my into our Mox. So that's a tour right there. There is a downside. One downside: no extension cables yet for Powered Up.
So if we were just gonna do like a quick comparison of like what you would use different different things for.
My glasses on for all that.
I would say that if you were so power functions at this point, which is Where'd the power functions go? Oh, I put everything.
Yeah, there are old school power.
The older ones, the big bulky box.
Where's your Ziploc baggie? We can show it.
Right here it is. These are the motors. I don't know where the battery. Oh, here it is. The one with the big chunky battery pack.
Starter kit. I would start with power functions.
And these are still fairly easy to get for a reasonable price. Like you can power one of your models up for, I would say, less than $50, probably even less than that if you wanted to get technical.
Yeah. And then if you want to be more complex with it, you can do infrared and switches and stuff like that. But if you want to do that, what would you do? If you want more sophisticated control than power functions, where would you go next?
The first thing I would do though I would experiment with gears, because that's the biggest thing you're going to find about the power functions is you can't really control the speed unless you have like one of those old school train controllers, and that you're going to have to experiment with learning gearing, which is, if that's something that you want to do, awesome.
Well, and I would recommend it. If you're going to work with motors, you're going to get a lot more done if you learn something about gears.
Exactly.
And you could watch our gear tutorial.
Yeah, and then if like I would say the next in line as far as like price would be Powered Up. You can buy them individually. You can there are a couple of the motors, and make sure you get the right ones, because there's a motor that you can't program that only just goes around. And then there's another one that you can program that actually, like, you can program it to stop and go a certain speed or only go X, like, sort of more like EV3.
Yeah, to be more precise, those are called tacho motors, and they report data back to the hub so it knows where it is. Something we didn't mention is that this move hub also has a tilt sensor.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Right?
Yep. And golly, what was the other thing? Oh, and then if you and I will say that now we haven't tested out the Technic motors, but
no, we just got them.
The regular power functions motors are a little weak. Like, they're not super strong. And also,
step back.
Sorry, powered up. Powered up. Functions up. They have to make it difficult.
Yeah. Hey, look what I did here. I took this this Technic motor and I put these pins in it, so I can just pull the pins out, and there my motor is off. It's like 5 seconds. So power functions easiest, Powered Up very flexible, and Bluetooth control.
Right, and then there's EV3, which is like the more expensive but has much more powerful motors, and you can run 4 motors and 4 sensors off of one brick.
One brain, and they're pretty powerful. So it's really a toss-up. Like, depending on the kinds of robotics you want to do, I would say right now, if you're heavily into robotics, EV3 is still the place to go.
Yeah.
But if you want to make some mocks and some cars and some things that move, and you want to be able to control that in a subtle way, for my taste, Powered Up is really the place. It's where we're going to invest our new money in. Right. Is Powered Up. It seems like Lego is really supporting it.
Oh, actually, you know what we didn't talk about? We were able, thanks to a friend, to get power functions to run off of EV3. And our friend actually made this custom cable that we use.
It's old school.
Yeah.
It's got the old school.
And then it's got this on the other side. Now, and we were able to control it. So if you ever watch our Treasure of the Snake Queen, it's how we were able to control the 9-volt train that goes around at the beginning. And our little characters who move up and down. That was all done with a power functions motor that was just hooked to the train
controlled
tracks.
by EV3. And so it seems like a simple thing, but being able to start and stop your train when you want without an infrared controller in sync with other things, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. It was really cool.
But I'd say for the most part, people who want to get into motors and controlling them, I would say go into Powered Up now.
Yeah, just because it's going to be, it'll be easier to get a hold of. But it also, if you're on a budget, go for the power functions. It's still completely viable. And also, the nice thing about using an older system, at least this is what I have found, is that there has already been so much work done with them that people have already pushed them to the limit of what they can do. So you can kind of go out and find like what's possible.
Yeah, whereas, all the hacks, right?
Right. Whereas Powered Up is still fairly new and people haven't pushed it to its limit yet. It's kind of just like when you buy a video game console. Like the PS3 was far more remarkable at the end of its lifetime than it was at the beginning because people pushed the hardware as hard as it could go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's an overview of motors. We're definitely not the end all with information about motors. There are so many people who know so much more. But with what knowledge we do have, we've been able to make a lot of stuff move and generally have it controlled pretty well.
So, I'm wondering, and there is, Holly says there's a power functions controller that controls the speed. There is that. That's just something that we don't have.
I'm going to get one of those. I want one of the on-off switches. I want one of the, there's a 2-motor control as well. I think there's a fancy infrared controller.
Well, and I think what happens is, of course, when you upgrade, then they're combining everything, so you don't have to buy 100,000 pieces. I don't have to buy an on-off switch and a this and a that. A lot of it's like already programmed in, right?
Yeah. So it's really, I can't say that one of them is the best. It all depends on what your needs are, and that's the same whether you. I would say use the simplest thing that fits your needs
and budget
and budget, right? Right? Don't use a big heavy motor on your car if a little tiny one will do it, because there's a trade-off with that extra weight.
And also, I suppose we could have done this first and then our gears tutorial, but something to think about too is that, like, especially if you're like, oh well, I can't really afford it and I don't know what to do, and what am I going to do with just a motor that just spins around? Like I only have power functions. All I have is a battery pack and one motor. You would be amazed what you can do with a battery pack, one motor, and a few gears. It doesn't have to just go around this way. You can turn that around into anything. And Yoshihito Isagawa, who we've talked about a lot. Do you have his book over there?
Yeah, well, I have the new one that will get people in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, here's your... this is a great book. And we've talked about Yoshihito before, but this is his Lego Power Functions Idea book. Machines and Mechanisms, another one of his amazing books. So again, this is what I'm talking about. Like,
that's one motor.
This is power functions. This isn't fancy. This isn't Powered Up. And there's enough to fill a book. So obviously there's a lot that you can do here. Highly recommended. The other book we highly recommend is Pavel Sariel's.
Yeah, if you're serious about Lego motors and gears.
Yeah, this is, and I know Minifig Chick put up the link to our website, to our Gears tutorial, which has a link to go on to Amazon for that.
I did want to say one thing about this. I read a couple of reviews of this book, and because the Power Functions motor goes, hang on a second, it's like 270 RPM. It's Power Functions motor 160 to 250 RPM. Some of these simple non-geared things are going to try and tear themselves apart, and don't keep your fine crystal right next to it, right? But he makes amazing things.
So, golly, well, thank you for putting together such a thorough presentation.
Well, I hope, I hope that was helpful. It was
clear up some of the mysteries surrounding motors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I learned some stuff just putting this together, that in all of the different lines, Lego has been very careful to have small, medium, and large, or medium, large, and extra large. Exactly. So there's a lot to choose from.
So gosh, well, we will be back on Wednesday. I hope everybody is working super hard on your Fab Max.
We are.
Don't forget your due date is Thursday. And actually, we're going to have to call, it's going to have to be earlier than 5 o'clock because we have to get those in to
Mairead, who's helping us out.
Mairead, and also we have to get them into to BrickCon. So it may be the noon. But anyway, just make sure that you've got that. Oh, Monica, that's right. I'm sorry. Thank you for reminding me. There is also apparently a Super Baby Justice League collaborative build that is going on as well. So if you want information about that, definitely hit up Brickanista. or Monica Berry, you can definitely there's still time to do it all. So I hope that I hope that everybody enjoyed that you got learned something new. And there is, I'm trying to think. Oh, right. There's our Fab Max in the background. But I did want to remind you all that Wednesday we have no idea what we're doing. So we were going to ask you, of all those new sets that we just built, I feel like we should build one on the stream. Yeah. And I'm going to call that maybe, at least for right now, do you want to say, like...
Should it be a certain size or smaller?
I don't know.
We don't want to do a week on it, do we?
Well, I mean, we can come back and forth. We can come back and forth. I was thinking, like, either bookstore or NES.
What do you think? I'm
not sure. Maybe we'll put up a poll. Yep, bookstore or NES.
Later on, we'll do one of those two cars, either the big one or the little one.
Yeah, and actually the Friends set I've built already, and it's really a lot of fun. I will say that Lego Ideas Friends set is super fun.
Well, that was a fun Lego hour and a half.
It was. Thanks everybody so much for joining us today. Don't forget, if you want to email us with suggestions, thoughts, things, you can do that to Flynn@TrickyBricks.com. Corrections. I do try to get to the emails, but between my personal email, our TrickyBricks email, Instagram email, Facebook email, and there's another one, YouTube mail. There's so many mail.
There's a bunch.
And we get a lot of messages, so I do try to be good about it, but, sometimes things fall.
Well, there's worse things than having plenty of people to hang out with.
It's true. And I'm trying to think if there was anything else that we want to talk about.
We could give the PO box.
If you can go to you can go to TrickyBricks.com. There's a Fab Max article up there where you can submit, and actually I'll put up a new one. I'll put up a new one as well, like one that's right at the top, so you can see right where you're supposed to post your stuff. And if you want to send us something via the snail mail, you can do that here. Flynn and Richard, P.O. Box 11517, Oakland, California, 94611.
94611. Why did I say
I don't know.
Right.
So that's where, and I know that we do have a couple of things there that we are going to go pick up tomorrow. So excited to see what's. I know that Jeff McElwee sent us a little. You notice how I slipped that in?
Yeah, I noticed. You're going to say his name lots.
Like a lot. We have some Fabuland figures coming to us from him, so I'm really excited about that.
We'll share those.
It's going to be fun. All right, everybody. I hope you have a great one. We will be back on Wednesday at 10 a.m. building one of these amazing sets. And again, thank you to the Lego group for the thank you.
It's so thoughtful.
Yeah, it was really
generous.
A really nice thing to have. It made a Sunday. It made a good Sunday. That's for sure. All right, everybody. We'll see you Wednesday at 10 a.m. And until then, please stay safe. Stay healthy, wash your hands, wear your mask, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Happy building.